Hello, welcome to the Forest Lake Morning Show, where we talk all things music. I am Brendan.
And I'm Tyler. And we're going to start right off with our newest updates on the Billboard Top 10 out of the Hot 100s, as we always do. We knew it was coming, and it is here. Mariah Carey has taken the number one spot on the top 10 with All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Shocker.
Which we actually just found out the other day from our mix engineer. The only time that she was kicked out of the Hot 100, I think, for Christmas songs was when Justin Bieber had Mistletoe.
Yeah, and she was a part of that record.
Yeah, our mix engineer was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Shout out Daniela Rivera for the information and also just being an awesome engineer in the industry. Okay, so let's run through this. We got Mariah Carey at number 1, up from number 2 last week. Brenda Lee has moved up to the number 2 spot, up from number 3.
Oh, also, a side note there. I think that Mariah Carey song, I think that's the 4th time in a row she was number 1. I think there was something like that.
Consecutively? Or?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
4 years in a row, something like that. Carry on.
It's a really interesting picture over here, too. She looks like, that looks old, like an old picture.
That's the album.
Well, that's the album cover.
That's the album cover.
That makes sense now. Okay,
yeah, that would make sense.
I'm seeing it.
They just pull a random picture of her and put it on there.
Yeah, just like the stock image of Mariah Carey. It looks like Greenie.
Yeah.
Still looks like an older photo. She looks great. So number 2, we have "Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree" by Brenda Lee. That has moved up from number 3.
Classic.
"Jingle Bell Rock." I think that's even more of a classic one by Bobby Helms. That is up from number 5 to number 3. "Holly Jolly Christmas" at number 4. This is a new song, "Creepin'" by Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, and 21 Savage. It is at number 5. It's only been on the charts for 1 week now. So
I think that's kind of interesting because what we just learned is The Weeknd is the number 1 listened to artist on Spotify, at least.
Yes, I think 90 some monthly listeners,
which is surprising. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
like, you wouldn't really The Weeknd is big. You wouldn't really suspect him to be the number 1 streamed artist.
The first one is probably what comes to your mind: Taylor Swift. Drake.
Yeah, especially since she just dropped an album. Drake too. Yeah.
So quick story on that. We'll hop back into this. I was searching Bad Bunny this week again on Spotify, and I scrolled down to the About section, and then the About section is where it shows you their rank in the world as an artist. Bad Bunny's at number 11, and when I clicked it, I was like, oh, well, who's the first 10? You know, because I was curious. I couldn't find on Spotify, and I'm not a main Spotify user, so maybe if one of you fans out there can let us know if there's a specific playlist or category or website that shows up-to-date rankings, let us know. I had to actually manually just search artists until I started to piece it together. So found out Weeknd's number 1, number 2 is Taylor Swift, 3 is Ed Sheeran, 4 is Justin Bieber, 5 I forget, Coldplay's at 6, and then I stopped at that point because I was like, well, I just can't keep figuring this out. But Weeknd is number 1 in the world.
Crazy.
The monthly listeners of all time right now, but that does fluctuate. So we'll have to give an update on that later.
What do we got? Number 5?
We're on to number 6. Anti-Hero. Thank God we got this out of the number 1 spot. I'm just, no offense, Taylor Swift.
Roast.
It's too much. It has moved down to number 6 from the number 1. Quite a loss right there. Unholy has moved from last week, the 4 spot, to the number 7 spot this week. And then we got Metro Boomin again on the chart for the first week at number 8 with a song called "Superhero" featuring Future and Chris Brown. So we got to check out this guy, Metro Boomin, because he's booming. He's got 2 songs in the top 10 on the first week.
What was the other one from last week that I thought was funny? Like Whammy?
Wham.
No,
Wham. I forget what the Chris... Oh, they're still here.
Wham's still there?
Wham is still on the chart.
Let's go.
Yeah, let me get to him. "Last Christmas."
Yeah.
By a band called Wham. Because it's got the exclamation point, so you got to add the emphasis on there. They are at number 9, moved up from number 10 last week, so they have moved up. Good for them. And then "Rich Flex" by Drake and 21 Savage is at number 10, down from number 7. And that is your top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100s, updated as of this week.
I like it.
What do we got going on in the industry here, Brendan? What's some news we got to dish out to the people?
We have some pretty interesting ones, and I think this one is kind of timely because we just had the GPT chatbot, the AI chatbot that came out. So with that, you're like, okay, how does that integrate into music? It does. So there's a company called 10 Cent Music, which is a China-based company, and they basically write songs with AI. So the songs I think were there. Mm-hmm. I think with this company in particular, the vocals were AI generated. So not real vocals at all. And they have like over 1,000 of these songs that just kind of came out. There's another company called Angheimi, I believe is how you say it. They have over 200,000 songs that are all AI generated.
Really?
Crazy.
So you've heard these songs by the company that have been generated by AI?
I've heard little clips.
Okay.
And they sound fine. They sound normal.
They sound like real songs.
Yeah, and so what they're doing is they're using these in like social media platforms. They're using these for like films, presentations, that kind of thing. Like they're not going to be Billboard chart songs, I wouldn't think. Maybe in the future,
commercial background music type
stuff. Kind of your basic stuff.
Did they have vocals?
Yeah, the AI generated the vocals.
Wow. And sang them.
Sang them.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Scary. It's scary to think about that too, because you mentioned if you don't know this thing called ChatGPT, which had like 1 million users in a week, one of the fastest things to generate users.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
It's a AI generated platform. It's like an extreme Google. Like it just spits stuff out at you, but it's kind of speaking to you like a human. It's getting to the point where you can tell it to write you a 5-page essay, college level or higher, and it'll spit it out to you in minutes.
No more homework.
Yeah, no more homework.
No more assignments, 5-page essays. No.
And you bring up the question with that, what's going to happen to artists, right? When you have the automation to create songs without a human.
I wonder too because I think what differentiates that is like an artist will have their sound. Their specific sound, but I wonder if you can have an AI bot that can replicate like The Weeknd sound, for example, and so you're gonna write a song that sounds like The Weeknd, uses his vocals to generate new vocals, new melodies.
Yeah,
so it's kind of interesting.
It's gonna be the most authentic cover band ever. So we're gonna really be putting cover bands out of business here.
It really makes sense for like background music though.
Yeah,
where it's something kind of simple where AI can relatively easily make like just background music, basic stuff, or YouTube videos, whatnot. But for a full band, that we'll see what happens with it.
So what I'm thinking is you're gonna have people lose jobs, like people that make commercial music, songwriters, like when they charge what they charge to write and produce a jingle for a song that's a commercial.
Yeah.
Why would a company want to pay for that if they can just have an AI machine do it for free? Or for a serious cost reduction,
Yeah.
It's serious concerns with this. It's really amazing stuff, but at the same time, it begs the question. I saw something that said, okay, you're going to have AI one day to the point where a child doesn't need to go to the bookstore to get a book. He can literally have an AI print a brand new story, never told before, not by human, but just print him a story on command. And he can do that over and over again with the automation of some sort of artificial intelligence.
There's really no limit to it.
None.
Which is slightly scary, but
it can like improve itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is scary. I think with music it's interesting because you're going to have the AI not have emotion.
Right.
At this point in stage.
Just straight facts, man.
So what kind of, I get the jingles and the Christmas songs, but or not the Christmas songs, but the commercial music or background stuff. How is music going to sound when you don't have emotion into it? And that will be interesting to see when it comes to AI. Because it doesn't know what heartbreak is. It doesn't know what feeling happy is.
I'm going to wait for it to come out with a hit. And then I'm going to be so up in the air of whether I like it or not. Because it'll be good, but it's like AI made this.
I wonder what Ryan Tedder thinks about it.
He's probably behind it. He's probably the one inputting his mind into...
That's where it's coming from. He's working with Elon Musk. He's got the Neuralink just getting uploaded to a computer to produce it, and then he's just going to have money into it.
Interesting. What do you got?
Very interesting. Okay, so this is breaking news as of this past Friday, December 16th, I believe. Sharon Osbourne was rushed into the hospital for unknown causes. There was no statement released. She was at the Glen Tavern Inn in Ventura County, California, shooting a TV show. Like I said, no comment on their health status. She's 70 years old. You would be wondering, well, why are we talking about this? Well, if you don't know, Sharon Osbourne is Ozzy Osbourne's wife. So I think you even question why I was bringing this up.
Potentially.
It's breaking news in the music industry. She's an icon. If you know of the Osbournes, they had a TV show Back when we were children, I used to watch it with my family.
Sharon. I'm surprised that dude's still...
Ozzy?
How is he still functioning?
Yeah, he shouldn't be alive, I don't think, with some of the
the dude can barely talk.
Yeah, it's like the Rolling Stones. Like the amount of drugs some of these people have done. Yeah. Like Keith Richards, it's like how...
We're coming up to the time now with this generation where like that whole past rock star generation, they're all 70s, 80s. Yeah. Like they're up there.
They're up there. And the new generation doesn't know about them, I don't think. So if you don't know Sharon Osbourne, she's the wife of Ozzy Osbourne, who was had a great solo career, but also had an amazing career with Black Sabbath, which is a classic metal band. Just a metal band.
I'd call them metal.
Yeah. Historically famous and legends in the industry. So thoughts and prayers out to Sharon Osbourne. Hope she's okay and everyone's there with her and the family. So moving on.
Was he a part of Black Sabbath? I have to think about this for a minute. Wait.
Yes.
I'm totally blanking.
What band did you think he was in?
Like his whole solo. So he was Black Sabbath and then he went solo.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Black Sabbath is where I think there's an interesting story on that where there may have been a singer before him and then Ozzy came in and like flipped the script.
Yeah.
And then, he obviously did a lot of solo stuff and is like just under Ozzy. He just released an album this year. And it actually was doing quite well. I forget what it was called, but he's still making music. So, incredible. But we just hope his wife is okay because she was always so great on that show, you know, and I'm sure she
is kind of funny.
She's been through hell, you know, with him. And it's actually a beautiful thing to see that she's stuck with him. And I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Imagine being married to Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. Being married to a rock star is probably not easy.
Yeah.
Especially back in the 70s, 80s. People were just doing hella cocaine and God knows what else, you know? Crazy stuff.
Those were the times.
Those are the times, man. What do we got?
All right. If you are a YouTube content creator making YouTube videos for the beautiful land of YouTube, you should consider adding classical music to your videos.
Why is that?
In the last year, classical music has gone up 90% on YouTube. YouTube alone, just specifically YouTube, really? It has gone up 90% in YouTube videos.
We're talking Beethoven?
Classical music.
Mozart? Like
just
old school
classical music. Wow. Specifically, it's just like in vlogs, I guess. Like background music in vlogs.
I mean, it makes sense, man.
I guess. People say it's comforting. It's, emotional. It just relaxes you. And I get that, but
you know what's funny?
You wouldn't really suspect it being like nowadays being as popular as it is, apparently.
Right. As popular as Drake or Metro Boomin, but this year I listened to classical music on YouTube, so I contributed to that.
Yeah, you did.
There were times where I was just rocking out to Beethoven.
I always think it's funny, like those crazy movies where you have like some mad genius or something, and there's like classical music, and they're just losing their mind. But so Apple even kind of hopped on this train recently, and they bought a company that just streams classical music.
Really?
Yeah, and apparently classical music gets streamed 1.5 billion times per day. That's outrageous. Like fuck? We're in the wrong industry.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Let's just whip out the old piano and just.
You hear it here first, guys. This is breaking news. Forest Lake is no longer going to be a pop rock band. We are
Forest Lake classical.
Going classical.
Yes.
Taking it old school.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting though.
Yeah, the bar for making good classical music is very high. I feel like we wouldn't be able to achieve it. Who's the Beethoven of today? Is there like a classical artist out right now that
I'm sure there is?
That's like really just shredding.
Yeah, there's got to be
composing some amazing pieces.
I mean, we'll hear about it in like 50 years or something.
Dang, was Beethoven like popular back?
That's a good question. I think he was. I think he was big.
Spotify,
the real Taylor Swift of his day.
Yeah, without any Spotify though. Could you imagine if Beethoven had Spotify? Oh my god. Like how did
what would he do?
How did that work? He composed stuff, then he played it wherever he was at, Germany or England?
Yeah.
I don't know. How did that get around the world? Just word of mouth, like, yo,
come see Beethoven.
Y'all heard of Beethoven out here?
Yeah.
Come over to America. Y'all hear of Beethoven out here? Is Beethoven over in England? Beethoven goes on tour.
Oh, dude, he toured the world,
dude.
Man.
I would see Beethoven on tour. That'd be insane.
Yes.
Okay, moving on from that. It's good to know. Man, damn, we should maybe switch careers here.
Christmas classical music.
Christmas
combine the
classical
two.
Music. What happens when December 25th passes? We still stick with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas kind of gives me classical vibes.
A little bit.
You know?
I feel like it's more of like the
1900s, yeah. Jazzy.
30s, 40s. Those kind of vibes. Yeah. That's what I get from it.
That's true. Who's dropping new Christmas? Like, I want people to be putting out Christmas hits that are going to be the next Jingle Bell Rock, the next Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
I think that's the thing, though. We like Christmas music because it's that old, like, it's the classics, right? You listen to like the old Sinatra, the old Dean Martin, whatever it is. You don't want Justin Bieber singing Christmas songs to you.
That's true. Like
maybe you do. I don't know.
You do. I mean, they're great singers, Taylor Swift, whatever. Even if they're doing covers, the quality's there. But I think you're right. That old timey quality.
So the nostalgic feeling.
It's so nostalgic, and I think it's so happy.
Yeah,
I think anyone can hear it and just feel good about it. That's why it's taken over the charts. So, and I don't think there's any other time of the year where you have a type of music do that, which is kind of crazy, right?
No, you don't.
You don't. It's just specifically Christmas dominating the charts because of that type of music.
Well, there's really only
Christmas music.
Halloween music? There's Halloween music.
There is. But I don't remember it taking over the charts like that.
No, definitely not.
Anyway, talking about charts, we have some ridiculous, just stupid information just because she is Rihanna. She, for the first time, has shared a video, 45-second video clip of her newborn child that she had with A$AP Rocky back in May, I believe. It was about 7 months ago. Announced it in January that she was pregnant. It was a big deal. Obviously, Rihanna, it was huge. And baby's super cute. I don't think you saw the video. I saw the video. Baby was so freaking cute.
Yeah.
And she was like talking with it. And we're talking with him. I think it's a boy. Rihanna is headlining the Super Bowl this year, Super Bowl 57.
Oh, really?
And the other funny thing about that was a lot of people came out and said, jokingly, because it's Rihanna, right? They're like, "Oh, I hear there's gonna be football at the Rihanna concert." You know, it's like a joke, and I thought that was really funny. She hadn't put out music in the past 6 years up until this year, and she dropped 2 singles.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I forgot to myself.
That's crazy.
That she took such a long time.
Yeah, 6 years.
Well, you know, a lot goes on in the life of Rihanna, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe just some time off. But she dropped 2 singles this year. One of them charted. So she's, definitely still going to be around, especially with this Super Bowl appearance. Typically,
I wonder who she's going to invite.
She doesn't need
A$AP Rocky?
She doesn't.
Is that allowed?
I hope not. Do not bring your husband. I don't think they're husband and wife, but A$AP Rocky, do not bring him into your concert. You're Rihanna. You don't need A$AP Rocky to benefit you there. That's a personal opinion, but she's definitely going to be coming out with some more music soon, I believe. And of course, anyone who plays the Super Bowl usually sees an incredible boost in their sales. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what.
Isn't that like the most watched event of the year?
I think in the entire world of the year.
Yeah.
It should be a holiday.
It really should.
It should. Why? Like the fact that people got to go to work and school the day after on a Monday.
It doesn't start till what? 8 o'clock? 9 o'clock?
Yeah, it's just a whole event. I mean, it's American culture in its finest, and it's the last football game you see in the NFL before August again. So it kind of, or September. So it kind of just is like, whoever's making these rules, give us the Super Bowl as a holiday. But as far as any other breaking news, I think the only thing we were trying to touch on this week was the Philly Special Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Correct, right?
You're the Eagles fan here. You tell me.
I am an Eagles fan, and the Eagles are doing really good in the NFL right now. They did this wonderful thing that I thought was worth bringing to attention here because they did it for a good cause. The NFL linemen, specifically Jason Kelce, Jordan Mailata, and Lane Johnson, came together, put together a Christmas album. They're covering famous Christmas songs. Did it well produced, mixed, engineered, mastered.
Yeah.
And all the proceeds to this go towards youth crisis centers in the area of Philadelphia. The first release of vinyls that they made raised over $100,000. And that was so successful that they just actually did another one this past weekend, which was the final one, final pre-order. And then I would assume streaming revenue, because you can find it on Apple Music, you can find it on Spotify, would also continue to generate income for the youth crisis centers. So it was actually really interesting. I showed you a clip. The one guy,
it does sound good. Like it's well produced. Their voices are well done. Like well produced in post.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's like they're actual artists. And the one dude, Jordan Mailata, is like a 6'8", 366-pound lineman, and he can sing.
That dude, he's actually pretty good.
I wonder if it's because of stature that he's got just great lung power, but he seemed to have really good control as well.
Maybe. You would think like those bigger guys that they're just gonna have like lower ranges.
Yeah.
But he was getting up there.
Oh, he was high.
He was singing all the high parts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something you can watch on YouTube on a YouTube short. It's like 40 seconds long. It's really incredible. I think he was even on The Masked Singer. That's how good of a singer he is.
Yeah, he was.
Probably makes a little bit more in the NFL.
A little bit.
But to be doing that on the side is really incredible. So
yeah.
And I think you were joking too, because we found out he was 25 years old, and we're both 25, and we're like, damn. Why does that dude look like a full grown adult? 6'8",
makes you feel real little in life.
It does, and we're not the only ones to think this. I've had conversations with my cousins before when you see a dude in the NFL who's making like, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes, $500 million contract.
He's what,
24?
He's 24.
I don't know what his age is, but he's like our age. You just see him out there slinging it like,
yeah,
shit. What happened to my genetics? Where did I go wrong? But yeah, it's all fun and thought, and it's obviously one of the biggest sports in that we watch here in America.
I think that's kind of cool though with the Eagles. Like, I don't think you've ever seen a team before do a Christmas album.
That's why this team's going to the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that.
The cohesiveness behind the team. You don't see the Browns. You don't see the Buccaneers doing it. You don't see any other team with such camaraderie.
There's no need to rip on the Browns. There's no need.
Just because we're from Cleveland?
There's no need.
Well, I don't need to. You're right. I don't even need to speak on the Browns because they speak for them damn selves. But
that wraps it up for this week. That's it.
That's a touchy subject for Brendan over here. But yes, we will wrap it up here. I will want to say this. There's so much happening in the industry week to week to week. We are just highlighting the interesting stories to us that we see come across as breaking news or just some of the top articles out there. There are so many more things that you guys can go check out at Billboard.com, at Rolling Stone, just to keep up to date. But we will be here to provide a service for you to get the information you need in a really relatively quick amount of time, if it's a car ride to work or a car ride home from the store, to keep up to date with one of the biggest industries in the world, which is the music industry. So
yeah, definitely.
That's what our job here is, and our mission and focus as we shift towards kind of a new way we do this show. We thank you so much, each and every one of you who do watch, who do like these videos, who do comment, answer a poll, or even share it. It means a lot to us, and we can't thank you enough for your time. But with that being said, Brendan, we will be back next week for more information, more drama.
Yes, we will.
And more just news in the music industry.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you all for watching so much. We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week. Peace out.